Hey everyone, this is Disc Junkie. Welcome back to Secondhand Sickness. So, I'm at my favorite car boot sale once again, but I'm just not up to shooting a bunch of footage today because one of the first things that happened today was that I'm walking like the first two rows of the car boot sale and I stumbled upon this odd find, which was actually free, but it was really heavy. We're talking a couple of boxes which I had to carry, and I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but let's just say that after carrying those boxes back to the car, I was just absolutely exhausted in the heat, and because of that I just, my mind was just fried, and I ended up walking through the entire flea market, but I just didn't have the energy or the focus to shoot a whole bunch of footage. So not a lot of footage from the flea market today, but I am really excited to show you what I did find. So let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, so I'm back home and it's been a really tough day. I think the heat was really getting to me today. I'm not sure if I didn't drink enough water, and that in combination with the physical sort of exercise really hits you. So after that I was just very much in zombie mode, just walking around the whole sort of premise looking for stuff. But I did find some stuff, so let's just not drag this on longer, and I'm just gonna show you what I got. Just sitting down on the floor here, and I'm going to start off by showing you this. And this was the first find that I got. This is a Dennis the Menace doll. I have no idea about the age of this, but it is basically like a plush type figure, I suppose. Comes with this little sweater that you can remove, as far as I can tell. And then it actually has a plastic head, which is really what caught my attention. And I just love the detail. I think it's very unusual to see Dennis the Menace toys today. I haven't really been able to investigate as to what kind of age this is, or if it has any kind of markings, but just opening this up, I would imagine that this is all original. I don't remember now if Dennis the Menace actually has this red and black, sort of shirt, if that's like a standard. I honestly can't remember. And I can't say that I'm, like a super huge fan of Dennis the Menace, but I mean, I've also been a kid, and I just remember very fondly watching Dennis the Menace. Like, it's a very sort of big part of your childhood, I think, for a lot of people. But I can't find any kind of markings on this. Might have to investigate it a bit further, but so far I'm not seeing anything, to be honest. But I was really surprised, and I think that, the thing that really sold this for me was essentially the plastic head, which I just thought looked really cool. And yeah, maybe he's supposed to have some kind of pants on him, I don't know, because otherwise it feels like he's basically naked from the waist down. But yeah, he should probably have pants. But either way, I thought this was a really cool find, and I got this for 50 Swedish crowns. I was really surprised that the seller didn't want more, because I figured this is probably potentially quite a collectible. I have honestly never seen one of these before, so really have to get this. Even though I'm not a super huge fan of Dennis the Menace, I do love retro stuff, and this is definitely a really odd retro find. So that was the first thing that I got. Now, the second thing I got is the really heavy stuff, which is sitting right here in these boxes. And we are going to get back to these, but first I can just show you this, which was just my last find of the day. Not particularly fun. This is your typical sort of dog collar chain, which was commonly sort of used, I suppose, in the old days. I don't think this is too common now. I don't think they're considered as very sort of pet friendly. And it's one of these choking chains, which you will basically have around the dog's neck. I don't know if they're legal. I don't think so. But I think we've just come a long way from using choke chains on our pets, or at least I'm hoping that. But yeah, so I picked this up for 20 Swedish crowns, and the only real reason I did that is basically because, I really like chains. I like, whatever, punk style jewelry, and I figured I might be able to craft this into some sort of chain necklace or something. So I really like the fact that this was a very heavy duty chain, but not really sure what to do with it, so we'll see. But for 20 Swedish crowns I felt that I needed this for whatever reason. But now let's move over to the main find of the day. I haven't spent so much at this point. I've spent 50 crowns for the dentist doll, I spent 20 Swedish crowns for the chain, and still my best find of the day, both in terms of the price and in terms of what I actually got, is definitely this. And this was the heavy stuff I was talking about, which I can hardly move. This is a set of books from a series which is called Nordisk Kriminalkrönika, and if you want to translate that, it's basically Nordic Crime Chronicles. And this actually comes in 2 boxes because this is actually that many volumes. So this ranges all the way from 1970 up to 1998. And just to sort of show you a little bit of what we're talking about, I don't think these are particularly uncommon. I think they're actually quite common. And I've seen them at flea markets and stuff every now and then. And it's basically this true crime sort of archive which chronicles the crimes that have happened in the Nordic countries. I have honestly never flipped through any of these, but essentially it has just these articles on criminal history in Sweden and actually studying real cases. I mean, it's a really, really unique look into criminal history in the Nordic countries based on, you know, that particular year. So it's basically like a summary of crime in the Nordics during these years. And like I said, I've never really flipped through these, but I've always had them on my radar. It's these typical sort of encyclopedias of crime, I suppose, which people had. I don't think these were hard to get. It was basically like getting, you know, the National Encyclopedia or getting stuff like that, which you would just have in your bookshelf. And what happened was that I was walking around and I saw these sitting in the sun at the car boot sale today. And just as I'm walking by, this little old lady walks out to them and starts writing on the sign, like the for sale sign. And she had the little note saying that, you know, this is 200 Swedish crowns, which is like 30 bucks, which isn't a bad deal. I don't know how many people would be interested in this now. It is definitely a very old and sort of overlooked set of encyclopedias, but for someone who's a true crime nerd, it can actually be interesting. But I think most people in general don't really bother with encyclopedias today. So in any case, she was basically, just as I'm walking by, I'm literally passing the table, I glance over and see like, oh, isn't that like the Nordic Crime Chronicles? I'm just, you know, just glancing over, and then she's just walking up and sort of walks in front of me as I'm standing here looking at this, and she starts relabeling the price tag from 200 Swedish crowns to free. It's almost like I'm like, what are you doing? It's free? Yeah, but yeah, it's free. No, really, it's free? Yeah, it's free. So yeah, okay, well then I'm gonna take it. And they're like, okay, that's fine, but you're gonna have to haul it back to the car yourself. And you might think like, oh, that's fine. But this is a really hefty encyclopedias. So I basically had to carry these 2 boxes back to my car, which was kind of bit actually. And this was basically something I did within like the first 5 or 10 minutes of arriving to the car boot sale. And with that, I basically got totally exhausted with the heat. But I think this is a really cool set, and I'm really happy that I got this. Overall, it feels like they are in pretty good condition, and I would think so, basically, because this was a nice little old couple, and it felt like, I'm not sure if they even flipped through it, but it is just really cool to be able to check this out. So, I mean, if you want to read about like a, you know, classic crime which you heard about or something, you could actually go to that particular year and sort of check the index to see if there was anything specific written about that case. So yeah, I definitely think that this is a really cool set of books. I'm not sure how much I will read through them, but I think it's cool to have this just as some sort of criminological archive. Like if I want to read about something in particular that I know happened in Sweden or in the Nordic countries during this time or during any of these years, I can particularly go to that particular volume and sort of look it up to see if there's something written about it in this Nordic Crime Chronicles, because this is very much a sort of broad overview of the crimes that happen. I mean, that's why it's called the Nordic Crime Chronicles, because they try to summarize the crimes that happened during those years. So yeah, this is a really sort of serious and well-renowned set of encyclopedias. When you listen to crime podcasts and stuff here in Sweden, I know that quite often they will make references to things like the Nordic Crime Chronicles, because it is a very sort of well-considered publication. And so that is basically it for this video. I really wasn't expecting much today, and I honestly wasn't even planning to go to this thing. I had essentially been thinking like, no, I'm not gonna go, because according to like the weather prognosis, it was gonna rain all fucking day. But then at the last minute, I think it was fairly late, like it was 10 o'clock or something, I just felt like, what the hell, it's sunny outside, I'm just gonna go. And I went, and it took like an hour to get there. And then I was just walking around, and within 5-10 minutes, I just stumbled upon this. So yeah. But I want to say thank you very much for watching, and as usual, hope to see you all next time.